What is Ronald McDonald called in Japan? It is now. Let me. It's. I don't know how to. I actually don't know what the hint is, but it's. Just go crazy with this one.
Is the name Japanese or is it something?
It's not Japanese. No.
Okay, so there's still even in Japan, Ronald McDonald is an American class.
Sort of an American name, yeah.
Okay,
maybe
from what I know,
the same beat to it. Like
Yeah.
Ronald McDonald has a rhythm to it.
Yeah.
Any guesses? It is a really funny answer.
Okay. Romo McDomo.
It is Donald McDonald.
It's Donald. We didn't think of that.
I didn't think of that one. I told you to go crazy with it.
Yeah, that's like a no-brainer.
No, yeah. Anyway, we're here with a very special guest today.
Yeah.
Close friend of both of ours. Someone that I've wanted to have on the podcast for as long as I've known you, basically.
We've talked about it for a while.
We've talked about it for a very long time.
Yep, and I vetoed it every night.
Yeah, it's Jeff who's getting in the way. Miles Anderson.
Yeah,
Good to have you here.
Thanks, seriously, thanks for having me.
Yeah.
I'm really excited.
I'm super. Every time we talk about movies, it's like a good conversation about movies, which is rare on this podcast. We're gonna talk about movies today.
We're a lot of movies.
Yeah. I mean, we usually just start by how's your week been? How's it going?
My week has been good.
Crazy things happen to you that we haven't talked about?
I did have. So I just moved to a new place, and I have laundry in the building, but not in the unit for the first time. So I'm doing coin laundry for the first time. Right. So, going through the ropes of that. But it's like the machine is not a machine I've ever used before, and I completely I can say fuck, I'm guessing.
Yeah, we can swear.
Sorry. I completely fucked it up. And I don't know if I opened it too early or something, but I opened it up and it was most of my clothes.
Yeah.
And it was just filled with water and was not draining.
Oh my god.
And so I had to dry them 6 different runs, and it lasted the whole day.
Yeah.
And I was carrying taking out water pouring
sopping
out,
wet.
wringing it out.
Yeah.
And there were 2 other machines, and I haven't met anybody in my building yet.
Right.
So there's this anxiety of is somebody gonna come down here and I'm just gonna be drenched in laundry water.
Yeah.
That was so that was my week.
I had no idea that happened.
It did happen.
You said you had to run 6 drying cycles.
Yeah.
Do you think that that's by design because it's coin operated? So you probably spent $25 drying your clothes.
Genuinely, when I first moved in, I put in a 20 and got coins, so I've been going off of that. I spent a quarter of that just on getting these clothes.
Yeah, honestly, if it's gonna cost you that much, you could just pay me and I'll come with a hairdryer and just
that's
go
a good
for
it. Instead of buying a hairdryer, I'll pay you to come
right
and the hairdryer. I'll add a middleman.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm so sorry. That is awful. I know the struggle. Because it's kind of been like that in my place, too.
Oh, yeah?
And every time I try to go do laundry, it's just a lake going on in the washer. And I'm like, well, I can't do that today, I guess.
It's a totally unfixable problem.
It's really hard, yeah.
In the moment, I mean. When it happens, you're just I guess I'm fucked.
Yeah. No, I'm very grateful that we have friends nearby.
With hairdryers.
With hairdryers, like Jeff.
And people to pay
right. Jeff is my hairdryer friend. Yeah. Anyway,
is that a tax write-off? What is that?
Well, I have an LLC. So I'm working through it. I have a tax guy I talk to.
We talked about LLCs on the last podcast too.
I'm big into LLCs now. My brother has an LLC.
Okay.
Yeah, it's I don't know anything else about it.
Yeah. Should we have one for the podcast, do you think, at this point?
Yeah, probably. It'll be
honestly,
Karsten
something we need to talk about.
LLC, and then probably Karstcast LLC would make more sense.
Yeah, well, there's a thing I click when This is boring.
This is boring, but it's not boring. Karsten Runquist. You
thought you were going to say ambulance. I did shave. Oh my god. I was no one has brought up the fact that I shaved.
Okay, you remember in the car on the way back, I was You know what? I have something to say, and then
That's
I was like, wait,
what you were gonna say.
That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah. I mean,
you held on to that. That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a big decision. Because I've had that mustache for upwards of 4 weeks now.
Yeah.
Or a month, which is 4 weeks most of the time.
It's 4 weeks actually only on non-leap year February.
Yeah.
That's the only actual time it is 4 weeks.
Okay. So I shaved it.
Yeah.
Because it gets to a point, I respect you going all the way with it.
Thank
you have a nice firm mustache going on.
Firm.
Give that thing a firm shake. Miles, have you ever had a mustache?
No, ask me.
Have you ever had a mustache?
No, I basically can't grow facial. I mean, I grow facial hair, but in patches.
Okay. Yeah.
All the men in my family can, so I'm kind of thinking maybe at some point.
At some point it'll hit. Yeah.
I'll be like 35 with kids, and one day just.
Yeah, it wasn't
it took
until
you
I turned
a while.
Yeah, I was like 25 before I could actually grow facial hair.
Well, there you go.
Correctly.
I really want a beard. You know this. I really we would look great with a beard.
It would be fantastic. We would like high five.
Yeah, we could just like walk down the street next to each other.
Yeah. And just be like, beard.
Yeah,
beard guys.
Do you guys know the Jeep Wave thing?
I do know the Jeep Wave.
Is
there a beard version? Is what you're gonna say?
Well, yeah, you just like comb it.
Yeah. Well, I had one too. Remember, because I have that Twitter account that's Cube Jeff. Yeah. Jared and my brother, invented the Cube dab. So Cube drivers dab to each other.
Okay.
No one's ever done it. It did not take off. It didn't take off. But
did you say you did know about the Jeep Wave?
Is that like you both have a Jeep and it's like
if you pass someone with a Jeep, you just
give
them a little peace sign.
A quiet.
And it's a very.
I thought it was like a salute.
It could be whatever you want. It is just like a general wave or a I had a Jeep in high school.
You did?
Yeah, a Jeep Wrangler.
I didn't know this.
Yeah, I don't talk about it that often.
Did you used to do the Jeep Wave?
Every single time. That's what's so funny about it is it doesn't matter who it is. Every single Jeep you pass, you wave.
That is
and
so
everyone
funny.
waves back. It's like you learn by just noticing it and then you just do it yourself.
Yeah.
And it's a beautiful thing.
Wow.
Wait. Okay, you currently have a Mini Cooper.
Yeah.
Is there a Mini Cooper version of that?
I really wish, because you notice Mini Coopers. They're they're as I think noticeable as a Jeep, and I wish there was like an M you throw up or something.
An M.
Okay.
I don't know.
Speaking of vehicles.
Wait, like MC, you throw up with both your hands, and then none of your hands are on the steering wheel.
And you're like,
You're trying so hard to make the transition.
I'm trying to do this. I found the segue. I'm going to go for it. Speaking of vehicles. Today is ambulance. Ambulance.
What day of the week? Tuesday? It's Ambulance Tuesday.
Yeah. Already a holiday.
Yeah.
Ambulance Tuesday.
Now, this won't be released until Monday.
Yeah.
Okay.
That is true, unfortunately for you.
Man.
Yeah. But this is the latest from Michael Bay. Michelle Bay.
Karsten, you've never seen a Michael Bay film.
No. And this might out me because I may or may not have some Transformers movies logged and rated on Letterboxd. But that was...
Like you just lied?
I think I just straight up lied. Like... This was when I first, because when you first set up a Letterboxd account, I don't know if this is the case with you guys, you just go through all your things, and I'm like, I think I've seen bits and pieces of these movies, and this is before I had any following on there. I didn't think anything of it. I was just like, fuck it, 1 star for Transformers, because everybody hates it, so now I hate it. And that was my mindset when I set up Letterboxd. And people come at me about like random things I gave really low stars, like the Alice in Wonderland thing.
That's a dog shit movie.
It's a dog shit movie. I remember fucking thank you.
I agree with people being like, what do you mean? Like, you haven't seen these movies, you haven't like...
But that one I remember hating it. And anyways, you don't come at me for anything I rated like before 2016 is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But Ambulance, are you guys Michael Bay fans? Let's talk about it before.
So I'm definitely not a Michael Bay fan. Michael Bay has a film coming out and I'm not like, oh, I gotta go see that.
Yeah.
That's not what is happening here.
Yeah.
I do like Armageddon though.
Okay.
That is.
I think we've talked about that before. You like?
Yeah, I've told you to watch it and you didn't.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah.
What about you, Miles?
I'm definitely. I wouldn't say I'm a fan. Everything I know about him is he's a prick.
Yeah.
But in terms of all that aside, like, I feel like whenever a Michael Bay movie comes around, it's kind of like if there's a traveling circus in town, you're at least like curious. What's this gonna be?
Yeah. That's such a good way of putting it.
And so like I've seen a lot of the Transformers movies, just growing up and stuff. But beyond that, I've not seen his famously like good ones, like the Armageddon, The Rock,
Bad Boys.
Yeah, right. That's such a famous movie. But yeah, I missed the Bad Boys movies, missed those.
Yeah.
But yeah, so this was my first introduction to Michael Bay, basically as a non-franchise person.
That's
because I think I'd only seen Transformers.
Not until Ambulance becomes a franchise, at least.
Right.
Yeah,
Ambulance 2.
We're gonna have Fire Truck. We're gonna have Taxi Cab. We're gonna have
it's just Jake Gyllenhaal.
Dump Truck.
Yeah, exactly.
Just listing off Concrete, whatever. It's
called. In Taxi. There's the guys. He's like, I gotta get to the airport.
They just re-release Collateral. And they're like, it's the.
So Ambulance, though.
Yeah.
I think this is an interesting movie because it was like kind of the laughingstock for a little bit there, because anytime anyone saw Dune or like any movie in like October until now, this trailer played before it, and it's a ridiculous trailer. Let's just say that right off the bat. For a ridiculous movie, but like I think people are kind of liking it, just because it's like a return to this like kind of 2000s action, like Michael Bay doing his thing, which I feel like is like not. It's exciting to see nowadays.
We're absolutely about to say Michael Bay at his best.
Well, as someone who hasn't seen any of Michael Bay's work, I don't think I can say that.
Well, this for you
is
Transformer, though. You're like Transformer, which
yeah.
I didn't see, was a 1-star, but this is much better.
Michael Bay back to doing his thing. We all know and love.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We've seen countless times.
We've seen it all the time.
Grew up with it.
Yeah.
And he's back.
But let's stop beating around the bush.
Yeah.
Did you guys like it?
You go, Jack.
Miles?
I kind of loved it.
Yeah?
And I wanted to hold that back, like, in the car. Like, I was really
God.
into it.
Yeah.
And again, like I said, I think I haven't seen a lot of his work. The stuff I have seen I don't really like. And as a person, and everything I've heard in terms of his behavior on set, even on this movie, there was a story about, like, there was some incident with the ambulance crashing while they were shooting, and it like hit the dolly, and so like there was a video of like the dolly grip had to grab the operator and like pull him out, like some bad shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, I loved it. And I kind of felt like it was the antithesis of a lot of his issues as a filmmaker.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to get into that. But I want to hear what you guys. Yeah.
I did not hate it. I didn't love it, but I thought it was all right.
Yeah. I loved it at first and slowly grew to be annoyed with it.
Yeah, I was the same way. It was so long, and like such a large chunk of it was just more of there was no like progression in the film.
Yeah.
It was just like
half
of the film after they were in the ambulance was just.
I think it kind of ambulance. Like I love my truck thing here for this podcast. Anyways, you can't even see it in the video. The thing is, like, it does kind of continue to introduce new things throughout. Like,
you're not on camera, just heads up.
Yeah, no, I know that.
Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt.
Like Poppy, that character. It's like once he's introduced, that's like a whole nother thing added to the film. But I'm like, it feels like to me, it was just. I don't want to start with the negatives first of all, because I did really love the first half of this. It just like I grew a little tired of it by the end, kind of like. Everything Everywhere All at Once. If we're just talking strictly pace, I'm like, this overstays its welcome, in my opinion.
I agree with that.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not a total like love fest for me completely. I felt similarly. Like around, I don't know how long the movie is, but around what felt like the hour 20, hour 30.
Yeah.
And when they started establishing some, an additional storyline that what you talked about, the Poppy character, I was like.
Yeah. Well, okay. I want to say, I was laughing most of the movie, and maybe it's because it was so goddamn loud, but I couldn't hear you guys laughing. I didn't know if you guys thought it was funny, but I thought a lot of it, in a cool way. I mean, the parts that were meant to be funny didn't. There was like a whole, what was it, like a Mel Gibson joke at the beginning.
And he's just like a big guy.
He's just a big the idea of the joke is funnier than the joke itself. I thought it was like really funny. I thought Jake Gyllenhaal played he owned this role. It was amazing in my opinion. Like, what did you guys think?
No, I probably didn't laugh as much as you, but this movie is ridiculous.
Yeah.
I mean, some of the dialogue is like so like on the nose, like exposition of like, he's a criminal and his dad was a famous criminal who killed a bunch of people. Yeah. The whole backstory of this film is ridiculous. Mm-hmm. It's like two children playing in like a junkyard, and the father of them is like a master criminal who murders people.
Yeah.
I don't like that whole. I kind of wish we went deeper into the childhood of like their day-to-day life, because the father isn't ever shown anywhere. They're just discussing him.
Yeah. What were you gonna say?
Considering how much the like father relationship is important to the movie, you'd think there'd be a bit more establishing than just them like running around the LA River like as kids. It's like you say, there's like 5 separate times we cut to them as kids, and it's all just them kind of being like,
they're just playing with guns, and you're like, oh, they've always played with guns. That's my takeaway.
They're playing with guns.
They're playing with real guns now. Yeah,
exactly.
It's like they're staring at each other just like when they were kids.
Yeah. The dialogue was so funny, and like I don't even know if it was a good thing, but it made me laugh and smile. Like all the times they were like, "We don't stop," and then they're like, "Neither do we," and then it just cuts to them just still going down the highway. Like that stuff was great. Like I love cheesy kind of like action chase movie dialogue, and this is full of that.
It's the whole thing's a chase.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, literally like from 10 minutes in, basically they're just going.
Right. Yeah, okay. It's not really ever explained how the ambulance has this much fuel.
Yeah, they don't.
There's just one scene where they stop for gas. They're like, hold on, we gotta get gas. And it's like a commentary. They're like, gas prices these days. Yeah. Like Michael Bay's way of being like, thanks, Joe Biden. And then movie keeps going.
They do call out the mayor at one point. A character's like, he's a Silver Lake liberal.
That's the thing is, I heard about that line before seeing the movie, and I was kind of waiting for it to come up, and when it did, I was like, yes. I mean, not yes, but I'm just like, what a funny line. It's so, yeah. Which, speaking of, I feel like, well, no. I'm curious of, like, as someone, you really loved the movie, and I feel like you would... You would have a better... You just put things better than I do.
Okay.
I'm like, I'm curious of like how you read this movie as its like stance on cops, or like, because I think that's a big part of it, and I kept thinking about that during it. Of just like, is this like a pro cop movie? Like, what is this saying about, or is it just as dumb as like, or not dumb, but just simple as like, it's just a fun cop chase movie, which is what I kind of like. Anytime I like kind of brought it back to that, I was like, yeah, this was very fun. But then there's moments where I was like, Jesus, this is like hammering home this like, I don't know, like Blue Lives Matter type of energy. I don't know.
Yeah, I was definitely thinking about that and was curious going in how much it was going to delve into that.
Yeah.
I was surprised. It felt like it just didn't really touch on it one way or another.
Yeah.
If anything, like I was actually surprised at how much the movie pushed the like thematic idea of how the government kind of pushes away the military and like people like who've done time internationally and all that stuff. Like I was kind of, it wasn't handled particularly well. Like it didn't stand out.
This wasn't the most graceful representation of veterans.
Yeah,
right. But the fact that like,
I mean, they'd have like the whole VA, or I guess was it the VA he was on the phone with in the beginning? Yeah. So it was like that, because that is a real issue that where the VA is severely underfunded and like super backed up for medical issues that veterans have.
Yeah, and the fact that like I know a major bit of iconography in his movies is like the American flag and patriotism and stuff like that, but this, at least the times that I remember the American flag come in, is like that early part where it's him on the phone with the VA and they're basically like, yeah, we can't help you.
Yeah.
And the use of showing the flag is a lot different than it might be in this like very kind of propaganda rah America thing. I was surprised by that, but the cop stuff, it felt like more than anything they just kind of didn't get into it.
Yeah.
I felt like the fact that the cop in the ambulance with them, they keep pushing that he's a rookie, he's a new guy, that kind of stuff. That felt like a case of them being like, we don't want to get into a commentary on cops. This is just like a kid, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, when was this shot? Because it feels like it kind of gets away also with being like a pandemic movie, because there's like a Fauci mural in the back of one of the shots.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's like wash your hands, and like there's people with masks on. So I'm like, what I'm saying is like, I think a big part of like 2020 was also like the whole George Floyd stuff. Like police brutality was in the know. Like it was like part of the conversation. I'm just like, I wonder when this was shot and like how much it played into that, or like wanted to speak on that. But I'm also like, kind of like you were saying, it just seems like, you know, it avoids the politics of it.
Yeah.
And it's kind of more just like, obviously the cops are going to be after him, so they're a big part of the movie.
No, yeah, I agree. I didn't think it really was trying to make any kind of statement on policing.
Yeah.
Because also, like, this wasn't even any kind of normal policing. This was like crazy, you know, car chase stuff where it didn't really show any normal police interactions.
Right.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially with the public. Like, it's the main characters who are criminals and then the cops. It's not like they're doing... Yeah.
Anyway, that aside, that was just like a thing. It was like an elephant in the room situation while watching it. And I'm like, I don't know much about Michael Bay or his stances on things. I don't, judging by the dialogue, I don't take him as the most left-leaning guy, but I don't really know much about him, so I can't speak on it. And I just...
Yeah, you actually could have fit a lot of elephants in the theater we were in. There was only 6 people,
it was not a lot of people.
Which... It would have been fun to see it with a big crowd.
Yeah,
it's unfortunate.
We did see it at 12:30 p.m. on a Tuesday.
Maybe it was on us.
Yeah. I did read, though, or see somewhere, I don't read, that...
You can't read.
I can read. That it's not performing particularly well financially.
Oh, really? Okay.
Which is, like, weird. Because it's like Michael Bay is, like, a blockbuster director. And it's like, if this very accessible Michael Bay action movie isn't doing well... Like, damn, that kind of sucks.
And you've got Jake Gyllenhaal, who I feel like is a, you know, leading could open a movie guy.
Yeah.
Maybe
like Nightcrawler.
Yeah, exactly.
Velvet. What's? Forget. Never mind. We won't.
No, I know. Is it Buzzsaw or Chainsaw or something?
Yeah. Velvet Buzzsaw. Yeah.
Donnie Darko.
The days of Jake Gyllenhaal opening a movie 25 years ago. But I also I really love I think it's Yahya Abdul-Mateen II, who's the main character. He's like kind of been popping up in a lot of stuff the last couple of years. I think he's really good in the movie.
He's so good in this movie.
Yeah, like I was actually blown away all around by the acting.
The acting was phenomenal.
No, it, for such a ridiculously corny idea, it's surprising that like the acting plays.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing is like the acting is great when it's like kind of high intensity and the action is happening.
Yeah,
I feel like the dramatic edge it tries to have near the end doesn't fully land for me. But I'm also like, I'm not here for...
I know, and
I don't know.
Also, some of the dialogue kind of lets the acting down.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's good enough for an action film that you don't have to think about afterwards, even though that's what we're doing right now, talking about it.
Well, it definitely feels like a case of the acting overall just elevated the whole movie. Like I thought, just to get into like the Michael Bay-ness of it a little bit. He has like a constant track record for how like a really shitty way that he shoots women. You know, it's all over the Transformers movie. Like it's a constant thing. And I thought the way they like frame her, the way like the EMT is like featured in the movie, it was great.
Yeah.
Like she was my favorite part of the movie. I thought the performance was good. I thought her every like script beat with her really worked.
Yeah.
I was kind of blown away. Like out of any director to have had that, I was kind of shocked that that was in this movie. You know?
Yeah. She was a really interesting character. off the bat. I'm just like, the only other thing I can compare it to is like Nick Cage and Bringing Out the Dead. I don't know.
I need to see that. I haven't seen it.
It's just like, I don't know. EMTs, that's the really cool character. And I don't know. I like that by the end of it, she felt kind of like the protagonist of the whole thing.
Totally.
Yeah,
which makes sense because ambulance.
Yeah, I mean, my brother-in-law was an EMT.
Oh,
really?
And he used to tell me it was pretty much exactly like this film. Like, his ambulance was getting hijacked constantly.
That's just an LA thing.
He was an LA EMT.
Wow.
There you go.
Now he's an LA firefighter.
Yeah.
Oh, he made the jump.
Yeah, he made the jump. You know, he got on top of the ambulance and then jumped into the firehouse and slid down the pole.
Yeah. Not that I'm an LA native and know much about LA, but I'm like, I do like how LA the movie is. Like,
you also, I mean, you lived in LA.
I lived in LA, but I'm like, it just, from my brief experience in LA, and even if I hadn't lived in LA, it's like that the city is a big part of the movie, which is something I've started appreciating a little bit more. Not just with LA, but like any city, I guess, playing a vital role in the story. Because I'm like, I don't know, they just pay a lot of attention to the geography and like the art, and it's just, I like that part of
the LA River is hilarious. It's like a puddle.
Yeah,
right. Stop going through water. And it's like
it's all
an inch deep.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I did like it. I did like watching. I was really entertained.
I had a gigantic tub of popcorn. It's like the perfect popcorn movie.
Yeah.
I gave Miles some popcorn because I'm a good guy.
That really was a nice thing.
I bought my own because I'm a bad guy.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm a bad boy.
Good cop, bad cop.
Good cop.
And then I'm the EMT.
The classic situation. Yeah.
It's like, it really is the perfect popcorn. I wish I had more popcorn.
You could have had more.
Yeah. Right.
I was not trying to stop you from having the popcorn, just to be clear. You could have kept going back.
That's good to know.
I think my favorite part about this movie are the drone shots, which I know we talked about going into it.
Yeah.
I cannot confirm. You told me that it's the guy that did that bowling alley video.
Yeah, so it might be. I don't know that for sure.
Okay.
I think that's the case. And the guy who do you know what this is? The like bowling alley thing?
Is it like a drone shot that like goes like
the bowling,
where the pins are? Yeah, I've seen that.
It's a crazy video.
So genuinely might not be that guy. But I think it was a case that thing blew up and he got hired out for a couple different jobs, and he's pretty young. I know that the guy who did this job is pretty young. If it's the same guy, who knows?
And you mean the guy has become successful, not his drone blew up.
Yeah.
Okay.
They didn't hire out the drone. They hired out the guy.
It's like, that drone blew up.
Michael Bay's like, I can do something with that drone.
Yeah.
That would look
like,
really cool.
I need things that will explode. I love explosions. I'm Michael Bay.
Yeah, but like the drone guy on this, he's like super young. I think he's like 24.
Wow, that's
crazy. Super cool.
I can't imagine being that young.
And like really good drone operating.
Yeah, like the like 360 twist.
Yeah, I hate to be that guy. I'm just like, it reminded me of like Climax or like Gaspar Noé. Yeah. Like just crazy, nauseating camera work that really is like really effective and exciting when it's like to just have a spiraling shot at the top of like a skyscraper in the middle of a chase scene is so exhilarating. I loved that part of it. Yeah,
it feels like that feeling in the roller coaster where you drop. Like there are moments in the movie the camera swings down a building and you have this like, you know, it's a really, I mean, like,
Carson threw up.
Yeah, it was crazy.
I left for that. Remember, I left halfway through the movie.
You were just
your mask was just full of vomit.
Yeah,
like a soup bowl.
Jesus Christ.
Like all in all, it was like a really, really well done action movie, and the kind of action movie that we haven't seen in a while, and that's really cool.
I feel like, you know, with these like the new route to take like action movies, I kept thinking about James Gunn's The Suicide Squad, and I'm like, how people cite, I don't know how you feel about that movie. I was underwhelmed by it. I was like, it's like so loud and showy with its like action, but I don't actually feel exhilarated by any of it. It felt so distant for me because it was trying to be this like kind of artfully presented version of it. And I like this because it's just so rough around the edges and just like
See, I thought you would like this film, like as you were watching it, because to me it plays very similarly to The Last Boy Scout.
Dude, I literally thought about The Last Boy Scout almost the entire movie.
Because I was like thinking, like, what has more gunshots, this movie or The Last Boy Scout?
Yeah.
It's just the most over the top, like, just aggressively like action shooting.
Yeah. Which I love.
Yeah.
I love.
You love guns.
I love a gun in a movie. Yeah.
2022. There you go.
Yeah.
Karsten Runquist.
Yeah.
I love guns.
Guns Akimbo. Yeah. One of our favorites on the podcast.
Yeah, we didn't like Guns Akimbo.
Okay.
Have you heard of Guns Akimbo?
No.
Okay.
Oh, you're in for it.
So Guns Akimbo. It's Daniel Radcliffe. Is there a way that you can pull up anywhere like a picture of Daniel Radcliffe in Guns Akimbo?
You explain it, and then I'm gonna pull it.
He has guns in each hand.
Guns for hands. Yeah,
I've seen that photo.
They're like
he knows what it is.
Okay, so it's like Daniel Radcliffe, and he has guns attached to his hands, and he runs around like shooting.
Oh, they're like attached.
They're attached.
Yeah.
Okay, and you hated it.
Oh my god, it's awful.
It's really bad.
It's a really bad movie.
Interesting.
Which just sucks because you'd think it'd be kind of fun.
It sounds pretty fun.
Yeah. Well,
do you think that it's in the Swiss Army Man universe? You think that
I was about to make that joke?
Yeah,
but anyway,
it wasn't a good joke.
He got there.
Ambulance. I do like I love how this is shot. To be honest, which I know some people might hate. It's like really tight on faces.
Yeah, some of the close-ups, dude, like all you could see was like this, like, just like from like eyebrow to like lower lip.
Yeah. And like there are cuts. It's like it's like what Adam McKay does. He'll cut to a character for like a split second and then cut back.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why'd you do that? Because it doesn't make sense in like Don't Look Up. But for an action movie, it's so exciting. Yeah. I'm like, I really think it's effective. I don't know.
Yeah, I thought the movie like handled all of its action incredibly well. And I guess at the end of the day, even in Michael Bay's like lesser stuff, that's always the thing that he's given credit for.
Yeah.
Like,
we all know this.
As big Michael Bay fans,
Michael Bay
all of
fans
us, we've all seen at least one film.
The guy we know and love.
The Island.
I mean, he's back to
one
his
of my
best.
favorites. One of my favorites.
I mean, Transformers: Dark Side of the Moon. Did he direct that?
He did direct that.
There you
Chicago
go.
movie.
Yeah. Wow.
There you go.
Who knew?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
now I really want both of you to see Armageddon.
I think we should. We should have you back. Strictly Michael Bay movies.
Yeah. Oh man.
It's like one of the most eloquent people talking about movies that we've had on the podcast, and we're like, nice. So you have to come back from Michael Bay.
Just Michael Bay.
Yeah. Like, how would you rate that explosion on a scale from 1 to 10?
Yeah. I'm glad you liked it though.
Yeah, I mean, I think part of it is something that I've seen people get into online about this movie, but this idea that like we don't have a lot of movies like this anymore in terms of I don't know, like plot stuff aside, but just a director having a distinct style.
Yeah,
just feels totally non-existent. So that's exciting, and like, this is the type. This story is handled in a way that doesn't get handled anymore. It's a very like 90s like Speed, or like you see like a Tony Scott movie. Like I was telling you to watch Deja Vu, the Denzel movie.
Yeah.
Incredible movie. Like, have you seen Deja Vu? I told Karsten, like, don't read anything about it. The plot, like the, one sentence thing on Letterboxd.
Oh, I feel like you've talked about this before.
Oh, it's possible. Yeah.
No, that was a Deja Vu joke.
Really?
Okay, sorry.
No, you need a soundboard. Yeah.
It's the best movie to go in just being like, it's a Denzel action movie, but it's Ridley Scott's brother who directed it, who did like Top Gun, and he was known for doing a lot of these very kind of lowbrow, gritty action movies in like the 80s, 90s, and 2000s.
Did he do Last Boy Scout? No,
it sounds like it.
Right?
Maybe. Isn't that Shane Black?
It might be.
At least he wrote.
For some reason, I was like Scout, Tony Scott.
Right.
Yeah. That's why this was called Ambulance.
Exactly.
They need to put your last name of the director in the film title.
It's the rules.
Yeah.
He did Unstoppable in like 2000.
Last Boy Scout, directed by Tony Scott.
There we go.
Wow.
Literally. Oh my god.
This has come full
circle. That's funny.
We are all smart.
That's funny. Yeah.
I mean, I haven't seen The Last Boy Scout, but I assume it's probably a similar vibe.
I really liked that movie.
It's Damon Wayans and Bruce Willis.
I didn't know Damon Wayans was in it.
Oh, yeah.
That's fun. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, the opening scene of The Last Boy Scout is the most insane thing you will ever see.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't even want to ruin it for you. Like,
no, yeah. You should get together and watch it or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Could be fun. But Ambulance.
Ambulance.
Yeah. Fun fact, when I was younger, I didn't know how to pronounce ambulance until I was in like middle school. I used to always say ambulance. And
maybe that's like a regional thing.
I think it might be a Minnesota thing. Anyways.
Instead of bu, it was buh.
It was buh, yeah. Ambulance.
Buh.
Ambulance, yeah.
Say it one more time.
Ambulance.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, one more time.
Ambulance.
There we go.
We got it.
Would you guys, I want to start asking this question every podcast. I think it's a fun question. Would you recommend this to your mom?
No.
I was wondering that after the movie.
Absolutely not.
That was one of the first things I thought after.
Really?
I think she'd like it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Our moms sound very different.
Honestly, at first glance, it would probably not be a movie. Like, I told her yesterday, I was like, yeah, I'm going to see Ambulance. And she literally went, really? On the phone. Yeah. I'm probably going to call her in the next couple of days and be like, you should see Ambulance. Yeah. Like, I think she'd kind of dig it. Obviously, it's... I don't know, like, they make, like Jake Gyllenhaal has herpes joke. There's some weird jokes that she'd probably be like, what? So, what the fuck? But I think she'd really connect to the emotional core of the movie, which sounds funny, but, like, it's the classic, heartwarming maybe isn't the right word, but it's very... It all wraps together in a way that I think would really work for her. And worked for me, honestly.
Right. It's kind of a crowd pleaser.
Yeah. I was moved by this movie. It was
crazy. No, I actually appreciated that there was, like, more moral ambiguity in the film than it wasn't just spoon-feeding you, like, what is, like, who's the good guy here.
Yeah.
It's interesting because, I was thinking about that. I'm like, this is a very, like, it's so by the books and seems kind of classic, but, like, I don't know how it's going to end, which seems like the movie got me, It's like when you get tricked. I don't know what the term is.
Hoodwinked.
Have you guys ever done a Hoodwinked episode?
No, but it's such a good movie.
Yeah, because that feels like something that you guys would be like, we got to get on mic about.
We should double feature Rashomon and Hoodwinked.
What's Rashomon?
It's
it's a Kurosawa movie.
I've never seen it.
It's like Hoodwinked is based off of it. Right?
Who knew?
It is.
I don't know if I've ever seen Hoodwinked, if not in like maybe 10,
it's
15
like
years.
Little Red Riding Hood, but told through all parties. Like they all have a different story, which is what Rashomon is. It's like the classic version of that.
This guy is on trial for like killing somebody and raping a woman. And it's the story. It's kind of like The Last Duel that came out. Kind of. I haven't seen it. You saw it. Yeah, and it's each party kind of tells their version of the story.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds a little more like.
It's a lot.
It's like a little bit more serious.
It's more serious than Hoodwinked is. I think it's worth watching though. Anyway, start talking about Hoodwinked. What I was trying to say was I was like the movie's kind of grim in some parts. Like kills off so many characters. Spoiler alert. I won't say who, but
I feel like we've been in spoilers.
We've been in spoilers. It spoils a lot of it kills a lot of characters early on. Some of whom I really wanted to see more of, like the driver, who his first line is like, "My wife won't get off my balls" or something. Yeah. I'm like, this guy's great.
The Birkenstock guy.
The Birkenstock guy. I'm like, what a great team we have here.
And then you guys like, what did you do to my leg?
Yeah.
He's having a great 2022 because he was just also in Deep Water. The Ben Affleck and Ana de Armas movie, in which he plays probably the same guy. Like he left that movie and walked to the shooting.
Well, I mean, he couldn't really walk after this movie.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Deep Water was first.
Okay, yeah. Okay, you left that one, right?
Because he was definitely walking in Deep Water.
Yeah,
he did a lot. And he did some other stuff too. No, other people swim though.
Certainly couldn't been the LA River because that's some shallow water.
Not deep water.
Zach can't swim in that.
Can I just say on Deep Water that I think it's really funny that movie came out less than a month from when Ben Affleck got engaged to Jennifer Lopez.
Yeah,
and that's like a very intimate movie with him and Ana de Armas
and his ex-girlfriend. Like,
yeah, that man is crazy life.
I have not seen Deep Water.
I haven't either, but I know what happens in it.
I honestly have not even heard of it before.
Yeah.
It's like an erotic thriller from the guy who makes erotic thrillers, like the guy who made Fatal Attraction and all that stuff in the 90s and early 2000s. Okay. And he hasn't made a movie in like 20 years.
Yeah. Have you seen it?
Yeah, it's good. It's not great. That made it sound like I was like it's secretly. It's all right. It's worth watching.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
It's a good time.
So Ambulance.
I would recommend it to my mom too.
Okay,
I would say my mom likes big action movies, and I think she would. I think here's the thing: if she heard the name Michael Bay, she'd be like, because I don't know if she's a big Michael Bay fan, but I do think she'd be down for a fun time at the movies.
Yeah, you had your fingers up.
Yeah,
I did. I just realized that not only is Karsten, you're gonna have to lean in. He's wearing his hat that's
I'm
New
aware
York
of what I'm doing
and LA. His shirt is a Chicago Cubs shirt. Yep. He's wearing 3 different baseball team merchandise right now.
It's incredibly confusing.
And it's West Coast, East Coast, and Midwest.
I was leaving the house today with my Cubs hat on, and I was like, "Damn, I look like a big Cubs fan." Yeah. And I was like, "It'd be really funny if I wore the New York LA hat."
It's pretty funny.
It's funny. It is pretty funny.
We're laughing.
I do get. We are laughing. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's. I like this one.
And you're also wearing very nice pants.
Thanks. I won't elaborate.
I do like. We're pretty much. I'm definitely the most full body here. We're getting it's a wide.
Yeah, shot. Yeah, and I'm not in it at all.
Yeah.
I've been
chilling.
Literally been like sitting like this whole time.
The audio listeners are just eating this.
They're eating this up,
as they always do.
Final thoughts on Ambulance, though, because we'll start wrapping it up here and get into our second section. But I mean, I'll start, I guess.
Yeah, please.
I was surprisingly entertained. Wish it was shorter, but like a great action movie. And I don't know if I would. Well, I was gonna say I wouldn't know if I would watch it again. But if they had like a special screening of this at the Music Box with like the fan base of Ambulance, I'm sure that would be a blast.
Can you quickly describe the typical fan of Ambulance that you're talking about right now?
Well, maybe. He's sitting right next to us. Yeah. No, I don't know. But I would love to see it with a group of people that really like the movie. Yeah. You know. What about you guys? I would give it like if we're doing star ratings, maybe like a 3.5.
Yeah, I am like in the same ballpark. I was thinking like 3.
Okay.
It's like, yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
It's action packed. I'm not gonna think about it a whole lot moving forward.
Yeah.
Miles.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, all the things that I was kind of dreading about this movie were not present, and all the things that I was excited about were very much present. Yeah, I like I said, I pretty much loved it. I thought, like, I didn't mention her. I think her name's Isa Gonzalez, who's the EMT. Like, if I take away anything from the movie, I'm just really excited to see more from her. Because she's been in stuff, but I've not.
Yeah, was she in Baby Driver?
Yeah,
okay.
She's in Baby Driver.
She's been really great in everything I've seen her in.
So like, really, really had a blast. I would totally see it again.
Like, so you're at like 5 stars.
No, I'll probably give it a hard 4. I had a blast.
Can I ask, because I don't think you really got into it, like what were you dreading? Or like what were you hoping wasn't in this movie?
I think the big things, the big like Michael Bay isms, the very, very patriotic imagery, the blatantly kind of sexist imagery or like characterization.
Yeah.
And genuinely, I didn't feel like any of that was present. I was shocked like at how little that was a thing from what I saw.
Damn.
Yeah, I'd be interested if other people picked up different things from it. Like, very interested to have that conversation.
Yeah,
but yeah, did not feel that was the case.
Well, that is Ambulance.
That's Ambulance.
It's in theaters now. I would say go support it. Go check it out.
I mean, if you're into that thing, my mom is not into that, but maybe you're into it. Maybe your mom's into it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
great. We'll head into this next question, which is not questions today.
It's not questions.
We have something a little bit more on the fun side prepared, and it is predicting the Oscars for next year. Kind of running down the categories. Now, Miles, you wrote up your predictions, and I feel like you more than Jeff and I would have a general knowledge of like what to look out for.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm like, we'll go through your list and just kind of, if everyone has the document.
Yeah. If it's, I'll probably be on my phone if that's okay for you.
Did we ever press record on the phone, by the way?
Not sure.
Okay. You know what? It's fine because it's still recording. So
yeah.
I think it'll be okay.
Okay, let me pull this up. Yeah, I mean, as the two of you know, like the Oscars and award season is something that I've really loved for a long time. I find it fascinating.
Yeah.
There's obviously there's the whole like, well, it's campaigning, it's this and that.
Yeah.
I fully see that and understand that. I just am fascinated by it.
Right.
All of it.
Yeah.
And so ever since like I think the first Oscars I remember is like 2006, like the Departed one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Maybe 2007. So like this is something that I have followed for a long time.
Yeah.
As much as I've loved movies, I've loved this stuff.
Yeah.
And so yeah, every year I'm like very conscious of award season and the types of movies that are coming out that this person has this and maybe that'll be into it. So yeah, I was very over prepared with my document.
But already did an Oscar recap, so we won't last too long on this year's Oscars, but I will say we were at the same Oscar party.
Yeah.
And I do want to say that it felt really, I've always been the only excited one in the room, I would say, for the Oscars or like predictions and like all that jazz. It felt so good to have someone else there that was like equally as into it as I was.
Yeah, I've had a blast talking with you about that stuff in the past like couple
You're the only person I've been able to talk to about it. Yeah. And it's crazy how we both you texted me the morning of and we kind of went over our Coda Power the Dog stuff and did you ultimately go with Coda for your prediction?
I did Power the Dog.
Yeah, me too.
I got screwed.
We both got screwed, and that morning we were both like, you did go with Penelope Cruz, which is an insane guess.
Completely silly in retrospect. I completely fell for this like late wave support for Penelope Cruz that had been showing up in like anonymous vote like ballots that you see on like Vanity Fair.
Yeah.
But also just general conversation on Twitter and things like that.
Yeah.
Which helped for Coda, but I think Coda also had outreach outside of like the online conversation.
Yeah.
Like they were going to the White House and things like that. Mm-hmm. Whereas Penelope Cruz was like
film
Twitter
online.
And like
I would say Coda had it everywhere except for online. I feel like people online did not like it.
People didn't know what it was.
Yeah. Anyway, we're not talking about this year. We're talking about next year.
We're talking about next year.
Let's start with let's actually go from the bottom up because I feel like Best Picture is the fun one to end with. Unless we start with Best Picture.
No, I think we do that last. So people keep listening.
I agree.
Then
my list of supporting people is totally not as filled out because it was like, oh, this person's in this movie. It's so much harder to tell if a supporting role is going to be good in a movie that you don't know much about.
Right.
So,
we'll start with Best Supporting Actress. There's already someone that's not here that I want to bring to light.
Do it. Yeah.
But your predictions are Vanessa Kirby in The Son, which is the next from, I forget his name, but the director
Florian
of The Father.
Zeller.
Yeah. Who, that's a very strong, I have completely ruled that one. And you're right, that is definitely going to be a big one. Because it did really well at the Oscars that year, I would say. Well, not that well, but
I think it
took
probably
more than
overperformed.
Expected, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the Anthony Hopkins thing was really big, but also I think it got screenplay, too, adapted screenplay, and it's adapted from his own play.
So that's likely. This is so silly because we have not seen any.
Yeah.
That's the thing, right? I think it's really promising. It's also like, this one is also based on his play. Mm-hmm. I think he has like a trilogy of father, son, that kind of thing. I think it's maybe Mother's the other one. Yep. I think based on his last movie and the support it got at the Oscars, I think it's probably a really good shot.
Killers of the Flower Moon, Lily Gladstone. I don't know about that one. Maybe.
Do you know? Have you seen her and stuff?
No, I haven't seen Lily Gladstone. All I know is that like Scorsese, I'm not optimistic about at the Oscars. Even though they give him a lot of nominations, but I feel like he's not usually killing it at the Academy Awards with wins.
Yeah,
but I guess recently. She could. Yeah, she could.
I think that's kind of a case of. She was in Certain Women, the Kelly Reichardt movie.
Yeah.
7 years ago, and I remember it seemed like everybody getting out of that movie was like, Lily Gladstone is a fucking killer and is gonna go far. And then I feel like I haven't heard much of anything from her, and from what I know, the role is pretty big. It's a really important character, and it seems like based on the trajectory of her quality as an actress, maybe that could go somewhere. Jeff, what are your thoughts on like Martin Scorsese at the Oscars? Because that's an interesting. I hadn't thought too much about that.
Yeah, I also have not thought too much about that.
I mean, I don't know how well he's performed with like his hits, like Goodfellas and all that. Yeah. Like, but I do know it's like Taxi Driver got really snubbed the year that was up.
Right.
The Departed was his first win. It took him like a while to get there. Like The Irishman, he got all the nominations, but he didn't like really take home a lot. I mean, I don't know that much about. I don't remember The Wolf of Wall Street getting.
It did pretty well.
It did well.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it got like Hugo. Hugo did well too.
Hugo.
There you go.
The thing, you're right about the nominations thing. He typically, especially when you think about modern, the last 20 years, he gets a lot of nominations, doesn't win a lot.
Yeah.
And the Departed, I love that movie.
Weird one to win.
Yeah, weird one to win on. A lot of people are kind of like, that's maybe a makeup for Goodfellas.
Yeah.
And Texture, like some other things.
Yep. Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah, but we'll talk more about there's more into with that movie.
We won't go in depth about all of these.
Yeah, we'll probably have like an Oscar preview with Miles before the next one.
Yeah.
I'd be down.
So look forward to that in 10 or 11 months.
Yeah. Right, yeah. It'll be fun to look back on this in the future.
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
Probably like one of these films just like won't come out.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
It'll be shelved.
It's scrapped forever.
You have Michelle Williams in The Fabelmans.
Yeah.
Patricia Clarkson in She Said. Now, I don't know, what is She Said? I've never heard of
that. Okay, so that might be my biggest kind of calling my shot for this year. Mm-hmm. So She Said is based on a book written by two reporters. They're the two reporters that initially broke or investigated the Harvey Weinstein scandal.
Yep.
It's directed by a woman named Maria... I have it written down, I'm sorry. Maybe Maria Schrader, who is a German actress and director who I think most notably made all of that show Unorthodox on Netflix, which I never saw but heard great things about.
Yeah.
And then she made a movie called I'm Your Man with Dan Stevens.
Okay.
Like last year, there was a successful movie. So just story-wise, sounds really interesting. Feels very similar to like how Spotlight really hit with the Oscars.
Yeah. At least nomination-wise, maybe not go all the way with the win, but probably.
Right. And then it's Carey Mulligan and Zoe Kazan are the two reporters.
Damn.
And Carey Mulligan coming off of Promising Young Woman.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It feels like this could really generate a lot, and that's not even getting into the topic, which I think, will probably, it feels like the kind of movie that Hollywood would really like. This is the thing we want to.
Yeah. You also have Jessie Buckley, Claire Foy, and Rooney Mara in Women Talking.
I should say, so...
Not all of them, but right. Just at least one.
and it's not like I wrote down like these 5 are going to get it. I was basically put this document together as like a long list of maybe these are people to watch out for.
Yeah.
Do you guys... I realize this is something I can talk a lot about.
Yeah.
Please feel free to... cut through some of it or any of that.
I'm just like I like getting the general
me
rundown because I don't know some of these movies.
So
here's
so you think it's probably going to go to Sigourney Weaver and Avatar 2 is what you think she's going to end up
winning.
You
do have that probably down here. Elaborate on that.
The Women Talking is a Sarah Polley movie. Who I was just I think talking to you and Cookie about Sarah Polley recently. She did the documentary Stories We Tell, which is one of my favorite movies.
Okay.
She also did 2 narratives. So that's documentary. She did 2 fiction movies.
Yeah.
Take This Waltz and Away From Her, I think is the other.
Okay.
She got an adapted screenplay nomination for Away From Her, so she's no stranger to this stuff, but hasn't made a movie in like 10 years.
Yeah.
She had I think she had like a physical accident, like she got hit in the head with something and like hasn't, like was in hospitals, like had this medical emergency, is not doing this movie, and it's about a group of women who are part of it might be kind of an Amish situation. It's like a group in the woods and barns.
Yeah.
And I believe a man in the group is accused of raping someone, and so it's these women kind of coming together, and it's like Frances McDormand, Jessie Buckley, Claire Foy. It's this huge list of people. Ben Whishaw is in it, who's the voice of Paddington, who's just like a dynamite actor.
Yeah,
like everything he pops.
He took home a bunch for some mini-series he was in, or show.
Yeah, with like Hugh Grant.
Yeah.
He's in Bright Star, the Gene Campion movie.
Okay,
he's amazing in. He's so good in that movie.
Yeah,
but yeah,
cool.
I'm really excited.
Something to look out for. Damn. Yeah. Armageddon Time, Anne Hathaway. I know this movie's like stacked, and I only say that because Jeremy Strong's in it, and I'm excited for Jeremy Strong.
Big movie for him. It's career-wise.
I could see that too. I would assume that would be at the Oscars, to be honest, just given its cast. Right. Also, Anne Hathaway has not done anything in a while, so
yeah. I wanted to ask you guys, what do you think about Anne Hathaway? Do you like Anne Hathaway?
I mean,
sometimes
she's never really been my favorite part of a movie. Like, I think the best she's done is Devil Wears Prada.
It's a great movie,
and Meryl Streep steals the show from her, in my opinion. Meryl Streep and more Emily Blunt. Who is like, even as a kid, I was like, she fucking rules.
Yeah. Her and Tucci, like,
yeah,
you know.
Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe like the fact that Anne Hathaway hasn't done anything in a while.
So wait, were these all Best Supporting Actress?
Best Supporting Actress.
Okay, we're
gonna split it up. Yeah. And then the Fabelmans, which we'll talk
Let's talk more about the Fabelmans because that'll keep coming.
Best Supporting Actor. You have Willem Dafoe in Poor Things, Mark Ruffalo in Poor Things, Paul Dano The Fabelmans, Seth Rogen The Fabelmans, Leonardo DiCaprio in Killers of the Flower Moon, and Jeremy Strong in Armageddon Time.
Do any of those in particular stand out to you guys, like movies from that?
I mean, I would say Leo before this year, when he didn't get something for Don't Look Up, and I'm like, I guess Leo's not a lock every year, especially because he like didn't get it over Javier Bardem, and being like, I'm like, damn, Leo got shut out, even though it's like he doesn't. I thought he was okay in Don't Look Up.
Yeah.
I mean, it's nothing to write home about, but I'm like, it is weird. The Oscars kind of shut that out.
Yeah, especially like that movie did pretty well.
Yeah, didn't get any actor noms, which is crazy. Anyway, I can't really speak on this. I have no opinion on anything.
Yeah, okay. That's what I've realized when we started doing this. That we have no opinion on them because we have not seen them or know anything about many of them.
The supporting actress I was going to bring up that you don't have here is, and this is only because I've seen this movie, is Dakota Johnson in Cha Cha Real Smooth.
Yeah, okay.
There's a lot of talk of her maybe getting something for that.
Well, so you've seen the movie too.
I have, and she's really good in it, and she kind of like dominates the movie in a way that's like the way you talk about. I don't know who a good example is, like J.K. Simmons in Whiplash type of like that. Like her performance is like kind of what you walk away with the most from the movie. You're like, oh, that was a really good performance. That's probably the best part about the movie.
I didn't realize that. That's exciting.
Yeah, I mean, it's nothing. It's a comedic movie, so it's kind of like a, Alana Haim. Maybe not. Not that that's a comedy, but like she's just on the edge of getting the nomination. I feel like that's going to be Dakota Johnson this year. Is like, it's not the most dramatic thing in the world, but it's a great performance. And anyway, that's my 2 cents on that.
Yeah. And you think that movie's probably going to go
just because? Honestly, just because of Apple, I think they're going to fucking campaign pretty hard for it. At least, I mean, it'll. It's one of those things that'll just dominate the Golden Globes, I bet. And maybe not go all the way with the Oscars.
Now,
anyway,
I have a question for both of you.
Yeah.
Which films do you think are going to do the best in the technical category?
Well, that's The Batman.
Yeah, The Batman.
Not Ambulance. Ambulance might get... I doubt it.
Ambulance is going to be nominated for most gunshots.
Yeah.
Most Jake Gyllenhaal.
Yeah.
Like The Batman is the first obvious one.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, what about Everything Everywhere All at Once?
Now, I am noticing you... Oh, I guess Best Actress.
I have Yo in there as a possibility.
That's a possibility. I think she deserves it, but I don't think it's going to happen. Yeah, it's going to be enough. It's just the I don't know though, because it's a weird time for the movie to come out.
Yeah,
but it's coming out the exact same time. I could be wrong on this. Like Get Out came out that year. Yeah, Get Out made a huge splash, and this is kind of making a similar everyone's talking about it. Everyone seems to really love it. It's like I do think it could go all the way and like at least get Best Picture nom.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Back to the technical categories, though. Avatar 2.
Probably, though.
And then also...
Avatar 3.
Avatar 3. Apparently, Guillermo del Toro is directing Pinocchio.
Yeah, it's like a stop-motion version.
So maybe something there. Lightyear?
Yeah.
Wait, okay, I've been wanting to ask you, because I feel like you know... I'm the one movie world thing that I feel like I'm totally blind spotted in is animated movies. What is Lightyear? Like, what is this movie?
Lightyear is a biopic on the not Buzz Lightyear. Well, it's an animated. It's not a biopic on Buzz Lightyear. It's on Buzz Lightyear. It's on the guy that the Buzz Lightyear figure is based on.
Yeah, there you go.
Right, because I remember like Chris Evans was like, it's not about. Like he said something that was like funny.
He's a real man. He's not about.
It's about a real guy.
So it's like an astronaut
animated guy. Yeah, like this fictional astronaut.
Yeah.
That Buzz is based on.
No, that's not to be confused with Apollo 10.5, a space-age childhood by Richard Linklater.
Yeah.
That just came out. Movie. That is out. We could watch that right now. Isn't that crazy?
Richard Linklater is just putting movies out that no one is talking about these days. Where'd you go, Bernadette? Bad movie, in my opinion.
Yeah, I never saw it.
It's a bad movie.
It's set where I'm from.
Yeah.
Oh, and also Top Gun Maverick. That's the other technical one.
Top Gun Maverick is actually most likely going to get a lot of technical stuff.
I'm incredibly excited for Top Gun Maverick.
I've actually never seen Top Gun.
Me neither.
Me neither.
That's another Tony Scott movie.
There is a new George Miller movie coming out.
Yeah, that's one of the ones I don't have written that I want to talk about.
It's that I assume will also do really well.
Yeah.
Just because Mad Max sweeped that year.
Yeah.
It's kind of the do. I don't know is this a new Mad Max though?
No.
Okay.
Do you guys know what this movie's about?
I don't know what it's about.
So it's
Happy Feet 3.
It's called 3,000 Years of Longing.
Okay.
It's probably gonna play at Cannes, I think is the rumor. It's Idris Elba and I believe Tilda Swinton. Mm-hmm. And it's like, oh god, I read something that was like maybe it's about people in a room imagining the history of the universe, like something like that. Like it seems incredibly big in scope.
Yeah.
A lot. They've shot all over the world. It seems incredibly large scale.
Yeah.
Very much the movie that you get to make after you make Fury Road. So we'll see if that'll hit like awards wise or audience wise. But I'm super excited for the movie.
Damn.
Now I have another film to bring up that I don't think you brought up yet. White Noise.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about that. What do you know about it?
I don't know anything about it either.
That's the Noah Baumbach movie.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm so excited
for
this movie. I'm forgetting the premise, but I remember the premise being really weird and absurd.
It says Jack Gladney, professor of Hitler studies at the College on the Hill. And he's torn asunder by the airborne toxic event, a cataclysmic train accident that casts chemical waste over his town.
Yeah.
It sounds crazy.
I feel like the Academy likes Noah Baumbach a lot, and it sounds at least like a best original screenplay. Is it even original, or is it based
I have no idea. It's adapted. It's based on a Don DeLillo book.
Okay. So it'll definitely get best adapted. I feel pretty safe saying that.
Yeah, and it's Adam Driver, and Greta Gerwig are like the married couple and the co-leads.
Yeah.
Barbie isn't coming out this year, is it?
I don't think so. Yeah,
now,
that is like
really
we have
far
to address
in the future. Yeah, Will Ferrell's now been casted in Barbie.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, so that's the 2024 Oscars prediction.
Yeah.
We're just gonna...
I will say it's like, because the Academy loves Greta Gerwig.
Yeah.
Both her movies have done really well nominations-wise. Do you think Barbie will get anything? No one has any idea. Yeah.
I am totally perplexed by that whole thing.
Yeah.
It reminds me of like the Barry Jenkins is doing the Lion King 2 live action.
Wait,
whatever.
what?
Do you know about it's crazy. So you know the like CGI Lion King?
Yes.
He's doing a sequel to that. Barry Jenkins.
Yeah.
Where's what?
Yeah. And all credit to him. He seems really excited about it. I'm endlessly fascinated by what that's going to be.
Yeah.
And it's not like he got announced and now it's kind of gone quiet. It's like actively happening.
Yeah.
From what I can
tell.
Now, this is kind of unrelated. Actually, it's entirely unrelated. But a technical lock for at least like production design and costume design is The Northman. Maybe even Best Director. That seems like a stretch, but I think The Northman is gonna do well.
It seems like it's being really, really well received.
It's gonna do a lot better than The Lighthouse did, because I think just the scope of it, the size of the cast, the kind of wider release, it seems like a more accessible. But I'm also like, it could be a Green Knight situation, which Green Knight was A24, and like maybe it was a little bit on the nicher side, at least like material wise. The Northman seems like audiences will enjoy it. Maybe. I don't know.
It's hard to. It's the Robert Eggers thing of like, I would say the same thing about The Witch, but The Witch is also so leaning into,
which is weird,
accuracy to the time and things like that. That it's, and The Northman's not out yet. I don't think any of us have seen it. So I'm worried audience wise about that movie because it's a big budget and it really could go one way or another. So I'm really curious about that.
Since this podcast has run very long. Should we just jump to like Best
Picture?
Let's do Best Picture.
Best Picture.
And what film we're personally most excited about.
I'll run through it, each thing you have written down.
Yeah.
And maybe we just say like yes or no.
In yes and no in what way?
In like yes, it'll be nominated. Okay. Kind of like you're very positive.
I'm gonna let Miles do this.
Yeah.
I have so much faith.
What do you mean?
You start with you list them down.
As in, we'll each list them and we'll each say...
Well, yeah, you just start, like, The Fabelmans.
Okay. The Fabelmans. That's the first one.
What do you think?
Yeah, I think that's absolutely...
Definitely.
It's the Spielberg autobiography.
Yep. David Lynch is in it.
David Lynch is in it, maybe playing John Huston. The cast looks great. It's all of Spielberg's regular collaborators. It's a very personal movie. Absolutely. Yeah, I think that's basically certainty.
Yeah.
Killers of the Flower Moon. I think that's also easy lock.
Yeah.
Easy lock.
Those seem to be the big two.
Yeah. If it's and it's Apple. Oh shit.
It is.
Yeah, it's gonna fucking kill it. It's gonna kill it. Elvis, Baz Luhrmann. Maybe.
I'm gonna say yes, and Baz is gonna get nominated for Best Director.
Definitely. Honestly, definitely.
You said maybe. Give it yes or no. What are you thinking?
Well, it could be like I think it's gonna be like this year's like Bohemian Rhapsody, maybe. Okay. It's a musical biopic. It seems hit or miss. I don't really trust Tom Hanks.
Yeah,
I feel like Tom. Well, he's
Good
obviously
Lord.
like one of the most lovable actors, but I feel like the movies he picks tend to be fine. Finch.
You got sent News of the World. You got sent the gift basket.
I haven't watched it.
Were you given like a DVD or something?
I was given a crate of whiskey
and bread,
a journal,
what?
the score on vinyl,
bread, right?
Jerky, bread.
Which I thought wasn't it like moldy?
The bread was very stale. Yes. Yeah, they sent me a big care package without a screener. I was like, at least send me the movie.
The thing is, I feel confident that you're getting a Best Director nom there for Baz. Just because Baz Luhrmann is, again, someone like Michael Bay who has such a distinct style.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's obviously thought of as a much higher tier. Yeah. So it's just like, it's more like most directing.
Mm-hmm. Totally.
Yeah.
It's definitely. Like so obvious for someone like, this is very directed.
It's a great So honestly, Best Director likely, but if he gets Best Director, that means Best Picture too. I think that's a very big lock.
Yeah, actually, we have not talked about this film I'm going to mention next.
Yeah,
and it's probably not on the list, but Next Goal Wins.
Yeah, it's not on this list. I wanted to talk to you guys about it.
That's the movie I'm most excited for.
Yeah,
because I have long been a fan of the story of the American. So I don't know how you pronounce American Samoa. I think that I'm incorrect in how I'm pronouncing that, but it's like a U.S. owned territory in the Pacific.
Yeah.
And they have a national soccer team, and they're horrible. Like, their goalie, like 20 years ago, was like the national ping pong champion, I believe, and they put him in net against Australia because Australia for World Cup qualifying used to be in the Oceania region. They've since moved because it was too easy for them, and they felt like they were unprepared for the World Cup. So now they play in the Asian region. So now it's like New Zealand is the best team by far in that region, and American Samoa is the worst team.
Okay.
But in the early 2000s, when they played Australia in a game, you know what the score was? Yeah. And this is a 90-minute soccer game.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
They lost 32-0.
Oh my God. That's insane.
Yeah. So I've been a big fan of that team for a long time. So this movie is about that team.
And it's Taika Waititi, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. And with Michael Fassbender starring as the coach.
Right.
That could be...
I think that, especially like with Jojo Rabbit being such a hit there, I think Elizabeth Moss is in it.
Yeah.
It's the whole thing. I'm really curious about... So Armie Hammer was in it, and then all of the Armie Hammer stuff came out.
Yeah.
And then they reshot his stuff, and now it's like Will Arnett, I think.
Yeah.
So I'm always fascinated by like the reshooting stuff, like the Christopher Plummer and All the Money in the World. Insane. So I'm very curious about how that will affect that movie.
Interesting.
Yeah, I mean, do you like Taika Waititi a lot?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, me too. So I'm very curious about it.
Great. Where the Crawdads Sing. I don't. I mean, I can't speak on it. I don't really know much about it.
Famous book that came out in the last couple of years. Huge hit. A trailer's out. I don't think it looks particularly good. Yeah. But it feels like the classic. This is a successful adaptation that will go far.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I'm gonna probably say no right now for Best Picture chances, but I would not be shocked if it ended up coming along.
Okay. Speaking of Nope by Jordan Peele.
Solid stuff. Yeah.
I am gonna say no. I feel like it looks even more out there and high concept than Us, and Us did not play well with
that's true.
the Academy.
Yeah.
But you never know. Maybe it's like a skip over Us, and then Nope is like... we don't really know much about it. It looks phenomenal in my opinion. It's probably my most anticipated of the year. But
wow. Interesting.
Well, it's like closer than a lot of the later... I guess Noah Baumbach's thing is my most anticipated, but...
I think it'll probably do really well in the technical categories.
Yeah.
Because it's shot by Hoyt van Hoytema, who's Christopher Nolan's recent DP, who basically only shoots huge event movies in the past, 8 years.
Yeah.
Pretty much only comes out for Christopher Nolan, or I think he's maybe done... He did Ad Astra as well. So these huge space movies...
More like Dad Astra. Right. Am I right?
Exactly.
Right. That's the worst joke in the history of Letterboxd.
Yeah, I think technically it seems like he's really pulling out all the stops for that.
Okay. Cool. We have The Woman King, starring Viola Davis, John Boyega. I feel like Viola Davis is like a magnet to the Oscars. Yeah, I feel like besides Widows apparently. But yeah.
Man, I know we're going. I saw Widows a couple of years ago and really didn't like it, which is crazy. It's like a universally beloved movie. I need to rewatch it, but Viola Davis is like a constant success there. It's also it's a movie set in, I think, 18th century Africa that's not about colonialism. It's nice to see a movie about culture in Africa that is not just about slavery and colonialism.
Right. Yeah. You don't need any Belgians in this.
Right. I would also look up photos from this. There's stills of her. It's totally looks like a transformative thing. It looks really exciting.
Okay. Till, which looks... Maybe it's a true story. So
it's it's about Emmett Till's mom and trying to find justice for Emmett Till after he was killed. It's an actress I really love who was just in Station 11. Shot partially here in Chicago. A couple of our friends worked on it. She's really fantastic. Her name is Danielle Deadweiler.
Okay.
But
cool.
Could be. And trying to kind of find some other things to... I think we should probably talk about Babylon.
Yeah.
We should talk about... Just to kind of lay out some things here. We should talk about Babylon. We should talk about 13 Lives. And we should, for better or for worse, talk about the David O. Russell movie.
Yeah. I was about to bring up that one. I mean, that is one of the craziest casts I've ever seen. That's an insane cast.
Taylor Swift is in it.
Yeah.
Chris Rock.
Yeah. Christian Bale. It's like, and Robert De Niro, and Rami Malek. Like that's
Anya Taylor-Joy.
Chris Rock. Back at the Oscars. They might just nominate it just to have him there.
Yeah, right. I think David O. Russell, in my opinion, is from everything I've heard, is a horrible prick.
Yeah.
And this feels like the kind of movie that is 10 degrees off for the next year from being totally shut out because of shit coming out about him. Okay. Stuff that has been talked about but not very publicly known. Like
yeah.
Yeah, he has accusations from like his niece about groping her, like all this horrible stuff. Jesus. He like punched George Clooney. George Clooney punched him on a set once.
Yeah.
After he like screamed at a PA a bunch, like horrible shit.
Yeah.
But he always gets hits with the Oscars. I think literally like his last 5 movies or something.
Yeah.
It's a huge cast. Linus Sandgren shot it, who shot La La Land.
Yep.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's just a whole lot of baggage with that one.
Yeah.
But
maybe that's what makes it attractive to the Academy.
Yeah. Have you guys seen American Hustle?
No.
His last movie? No. Okay. That's like a weird movie. Okay. Yeah, I was curious if you guys didn't.
Did it? It didn't win.
It got like Best 13 picture. Nominations and it got no votes. It's crazy. It's a weird thing.
13 Lives. Interesting that you put this here because the documentary on this cave rescue just got completely shut out when it was one of the most obvious nominations. It was like the Mr. Rogers thing all over again. It's like, really? You didn't nominate it? It
feels like a no-brainer.
Yeah, and that's separate from this, but it's like maybe Ron Howard, that kind of cast, about a very interesting thing that happened. Like, I can see that actually being very, like, grabby for the Oscars, I guess.
Yeah. Well, and you've got, like, I don't know how you guys feel about like Apollo 13 or like Rush, if you saw that. Both movies of his based on true stories that are, I think, probably his better movies.
Yeah.
It feels like a solid situation.
Cool. And we'll wrap it up pretty soon. Yeah. I kind of we're definitely going pretty long. Yeah. But Babylon, I just want to touch on that one. Yeah. Damien Chazelle. Pretty weird, you're saying, from test screenings, so maybe like not.
Right.
It's not like First Man hit it out of the park, so I wouldn't call Damien Chazelle a shoo-in for the Oscars.
Yeah.
But who's to say? I mean, it's you're saying he goes back to La La Land territory, which is.
I mean, it's old Hollywood. Yeah. So it's probably going to be playing a lot into those like stylistic flourishes.
Right.
But it's getting into apparently kind of the underbelly stuff.
Yeah.
Margot Robbie is in it playing, I think, a version of, is it Greta Bow? I'm blanking on it's an old Hollywood actress.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's apparently a lot of sex, a lot of drugs, a lot of partying. It's that kind of almost I think Wolf of Wall Street was.
That sounds kind of like Karsten's life.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. What people don't say about me enough. Yeah.
Care to speak to that?
No. On that note, I think that does it.
Yeah, I will say that Damien Chazelle for me has made progressively worse movies.
I really liked First Man. I don't know what you're talking about. It's not as good as La La Land.
That's what I'm saying. For me, La La Land, I guess that's true.
More. That's
so
true.
It's like but it's still like First Man. I thought was all right.
Yeah,
I think I kind of agree with you. Actually, yeah.
Whiplash. I mean, it's obviously not.
It was great, and it was like such a big thing. Yeah. Whiplash was just such like a perfect, concise story.
Yeah.
Like with with that budget, I don't think you could make a better film than Whiplash.
Yeah, that's fair. Well, I think we wrap it up.
Yeah.
I think we wrap it up.
Thank you for indulging. This is
we could keep going, obviously, and we'll probably have you back a handful of times in the next year.
I'd be happy to.
Oscars.
Yeah. And I can also structure my document.
No, that was a lot. I'm glad we limited it to 3 categories.
Yeah.
After we did the best supporting actress, and you went on for like 25 minutes.
I know. I was like, Jesus Christ, this is gonna take a while.
It's going like, okay, Michelle Williams. Yeah, I like her a lot.
Yeah.
So like that's probably gonna be a good performance.
Yeah.
We don't know,
exactly.
This is why people tune into the podcast.
Yeah.
We'll wrap it up here with our usual wrap up before we send you out. Next movie is Miracle. The classic hockey movie from the 90s, I want to say.
Oh. No, it's from 2004, I believe. I saw it in theaters, so I feel like it was 2004.
And we'll have guest on the show, John Munson, the bassist of the band Semisonic.
Yeah.
Who brought you Closing Time.
Yeah, famous for that song.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
What? We're talking Miracle.
I was right, it was 2004 film. It's a Disney film, so it should be on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever done like a commentary, like a sync up?
No, but we've talked about it a few times. Yeah.
Maybe for Miracle. I don't want to know.
After that,
yes,
we like to read a review because we love to hear what you guys have to say about the podcast, and it also helps us a lot. And we just love reading.
And I
reviews.
just like reading nice things.
Yeah, this one comes all the way from New Zealand.
Wow.
From Crippled Blug Mongrels CBM. Subject line is good fun. 5 stars, and it reads, "Can you send me Dirtbag, please, unless you want to release it here in New Zealand? Thanks." The answer is no.
The answer is no, but here's why.
Thank you for the 5 stars.
I'll explain it for Karsten. Film festivals generally don't want you to release the film anywhere before it can screen at the festival. Yeah. Because then they'll be like, oh, people have already seen this. We don't want to show it. And then, so once it's done with its festival run, I'm sure Karsten will make it available for everyone.
Thanks for explaining that for me.
Yeah. I could leak it.
You could leak it.
You have?
I have.
Leak the cut with your last name spelled wrong.
Yep. With,
so that you can't tell that it's me.
Yeah. And lastly, we want to thank the patrons over at patreon.com/Carscast. Yeah, let's give them a round of applause. Yeah. If you're looking for a great way to support the podcast, head on over to the Patreon, patreon.com/Carscast, where you can get exclusive access to bonus episodes, Q&A, shoutouts at the end of every episode, and Zoom hangouts, which we'll be doing pretty soon here.
Actually, are we going to do it before this even comes out?
Might even be before this comes out.
Yeah,
so
we are doing it before
What a great Zoom hangout that was.
Great Zoom hangout. Thanks for coming, everyone.
Good stuff.
Yeah, I loved it when Monroe Page said that thing.
Yep. And the shout-out that we promised is right here. Thank you.
Wait, you want to get on camera for the shout out?
No.
Okay. I'll pretend that I'm saying
Yeah,
do like
Thank you, Alex Thomas, Anson Contreras, Big Beard Pirate, Camilla, Coop, David Borslow, David Sir, Eden, Eli Brow, Finn Richardson, Gavin Gibson, Goodnight Tail, Grant Gow, I Can Finally Be Happy Once John Munson Is on the Pod, Jay Neaston, John Van Hout, Joshua Hughes, KDT, Let's Change the Google search results for PTA, Levin, I Will Keep Changing This, Liv Rob, Lul Hottie, Luke Warm, Maddie Robertson, Martin Deff, Mary Lee Borslow, Maxine, Meridian, Michael, Monopoly Shrimp on the Barbie, Monroe Page, Nathan Worley, Owen Felton, Pasta, Pete, Seth Anant, Riley Ost, Ryan M, Stella Perry, Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, Smitty Werbin, Jagerman Jensen, Taylor Hearts to Watch the Movie, The Raccoon from Airbud 7th Inning Fetch, Vegard Strom, Wes Kinley, Wiley Todd, Yusuf A. Zoinks, and Zoe Hernandez McDonald.
Wow. Oh my god.
One of my best reads. I'm going to be honest. That was a good one.
Yeah.
I knew Miles was here, so I had to do it.
Yeah, unfortunately, it wasn't on camera.
Yeah. Yeah, I could have just done it in post. Yeah.
Jeff, you killed it. Yeah, you made it happen.
That is going to do. Miles, thank you so much for being on this episode. Do you have anything you want to plug? Letterboxd, Twitter,
Instagram,
anything?
I guess Letterboxd. I've never plugged before. But, I think my Letterboxd is just miles.anderson, which is also my Instagram. I don't. Feel free to follow me on Instagram or not. But Letterboxd, great. I'm happy to have people follow me there.
Yeah. Has anyone ever thought that you were two people because your name sounds plural?
No. I mean, people have asked if I had ever been told I looked like Evan Peters. It's probably the closest thing.
Interesting.
But I don't think anybody was like, are you two people?
Yeah, are you both named Mile?
Yeah.
And then you're like, there's one of me.
It's just one.
Well, anyways, I'll catch you on the flip side.
Catch you on the flip side.
Catch you on the flip side?
Flip side.